Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Rodell in the ATL. Of course, we're live on a Taste of Tradition podcast this evening. Got a special guest with me again, as we always try to bring you some interesting guests to the show. Real Talk with Rodell. This young man here is making a name for himself. Just put it like that. He's making a name for himself. David Jermaine Walker. Doing his thing, man. Of course, he's born and raised in the admonition of Christ in Atlanta, Georgia. He was blessed to be, of course, at can you hear me? What's going on? Can you hear me, David?
I can hear you.
Okay, fine. And
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
He, of course, born and raised in a faith-based home where God, of course, anointed him with a musical gift. Having served as several musical capacities for various churches, he also been favored to direct on several recordings such as Pastor Keith Brooks' New Creation, entitled Testify, Dottie Peoples, The Water I Give, and Dottie Peoples' first independent, Do It, and served as director and vocal coordinator for LaShawn Pace's live recording, Reborn. David currently serves alongside the living legend, Reverend Milton Bigham, as the music director, minister of music rather, for the world-renowned gospel choir entitled the Georgia Mass Choir. Welcome to the show, David Walker.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Man, David, you've had an interesting career, man. Growing up as a kid, have you always wanted to direct choirs? Was that something you always had a desire for?
I don't think it was something that I've always wanted to do. And let me first clear up, and I think you may have a old bio.
Okay.
I am the former minister of music for Georgia Mass Choir.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure, those that are watching.
Yeah. I know at one time he was doing it, y'all.
Yes, definitely.
But
But
go ahead.
but I don't know that I've always, but I knew growing up, music somehow came into play, with me, even tinkling on the keyboard, here and there, having to sing in the children's choir at church. Uh, we didn't have a choice, so you had to be, you know, do something in church. So I was in the choir, but I'll tell you that my inspiration came when I saw the late Dirk Cheney direct the Atlanta chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop Choir.
Do you
And
remember what year that was, David?
I don't remember. I do know that I probably was still in high school
Okay.
when that happened. But just watching him, it was like, wow. I mean, because he took control of the choir, and like it was captivating for me.
Yeah. Dirk was a force to be reckoned with. He really
Yeah.
was. I remember moving to Atlanta back in '84, and I was one of the main names I heard in choir circle. Dirk Cheney and Chosen Aggregation. Yeah, Minister Dirk Cheney and Chosen Aggregation. I tell you, and his aggregation is still going strong. It's still going strong. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So now, coming up as a kid and got influenced by a person like Dirk Cheney, um, you seem to have been around some really quality directors, David. How did that relationship come about as far as your Maurice Culpeppers and you know what I mean? And on and on and on, and your Milton Bigham. How did these type of relationships come about for you?
Well, I think I just watched a lot of times from afar, and just admired from afar.
Yeah.
Never thinking that I would you know, necessarily be a part of that circle, but I'm one to glean. I'll sit back in the cut and glean, and just say, hey, see if I can try this. If this works for me, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, okay, on to the next thing. But I'm
Yeah,
one of those that sit back and I watch. And so just watching these guys do their thing and how they navigate and move, um, you know, and I guess at the same time as I was watching, you know, people were watching me,
yeah,
and so because I never in a million years would have thought that I would have been directing the world renowned Georgia Mass Choir,
yeah,
the preacher's wife choir. I just, like, you know, and so when I got that call to come and be a part, I was like, what? You know, so having like your Kenny Paytons and your James Bignons and all these other people that have been directors for Georgia Mass, and for me to be named amongst those people, I'm like, what?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm grateful and I'm humbled by the opportunities.
There's one word you just used that even the scripture says, humble is the way.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
You know what, man? Humbleness opens a lot of doors. Believe it or not, people may not realize that, but humbleness opens a lot of doors. You mentioned that you kind of set back. David might have not have been shy, everybody, because he know how to take control of a choir when it's time. Trust me when I tell you. But as he said, he was gathering the data, so to speak, and he was really, honing his craft, maybe behind the scenes in a lot of cases, but learning from some of the best, man. I mean, you mentioned some top-notch directors out there. Um, so this journey was this journey difficult for you, David, or was it fun to be on this journey for you?
um, and it kind of um, and I know God always does things, you know, methodically, and but for me, it was it it was never I never set out to be where I am right now. I
Mm,
was the student director um, for my school gospel choir, and I'll go back even uh, a little bit further. At another school that I was at, I had the idea of starting a school gospel choir because I was at a performing arts school.
okay.
And, we had show choir, we had all that stuff, but we didn't have a gospel choir. And so I had the idea of wanting to start a gospel choir, and I took it to one of the teachers um, and, pitched it to them. And so what ended up happening, they had auditions to be the director. And
Okay.
so I didn't get it.
Oh wow.
And I pitched the idea. And so I was hurt, you know,
Wait
by
a minute.
that.
You pitched the idea, but you didn't get the gig.
No,
How did how did that make you feel, David, at that moment?
I
Seriously,
was
tell us.
I was literally crushed. And so I still participated in the choir.
Okay.
But yeah, that crushed me. And so when I transferred and went to another school, um, I tried it again, to start a gospel choir. And so I became the student director. We had an adult that was, over us, and they were a musician. And so it was an extracurricular activity. So this individual was outside of the school, but as an adult, to be over uh, the that extracurricular unit. So I was the student director, but after I graduated, I still wanted to, you know, I enjoyed doing the choir. And I was like, yeah, I want to do this. So I graduated in 92. I started the choir in 93. And I called some of my old classmates. They called friends that called friends. And so it started. But I never really looked at it as ministry. It was, you know, just another extracurricular activity. And then somewhere along the way, it shifted to like, oh, this is for real.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we grew up. Our relationship with God became strengthened, and we saw the value and the necessity of what we were doing, and so it turned into ministry.
Yeah, it's interesting you have that kind of story because a lot of times people need to know how you started, where you come from to be where you are. Because a lot of times people they really think that you can be an overnight success,
Right,
but there were some struggles and some hardships that you came in contact with that just made you a stronger person and made you a
right.
person. Speak on that just a little bit, man, for those that may be watching, as to the fact that they've tried a couple of things that they know they were gifted at, but for some reason they can't seem to get over the pinnacle.
Right. Now, we've been out here, like I said, I started in 93. Um, and this year makes 31 years that we've been out here. And so it hasn't been easy. Um, I, again, never really set out to be an artist. It's something that I enjoy doing, um, and that I love doing. So, I would just encourage those that are aspiring to um, do even music or whatever it is to just keep going. Know exactly why you're doing it.
Mm,
Because sometimes people get um, fascinated with the idea of being out front, what it looks like, what they see when they see others doing it,
yeah,
but they don't see the work behind it. They don't see the blood, sweat, and tears, preparing for that, or the ups and downs, the disappointments, and, sometimes getting taken advantage of or being overlooked, you know, a lot of times. And so uh, you have to really be rooted in why you're doing
yeah.
it, making sure that you're definitely called to do it.
So now, are you a very hard disciplinary, David, when it comes to the things you want done in the choir, or you just kind of allow somebody else to do it? Who determines on making sure the choir is in check?
Uh, um, I am not I'm not a real hard taskmaster.
Okay,
However, I do um, demand excellence. I do believe in having a standard. If we're out here and we are saying that we are proclaiming the name of Christ, we should mirror that. And
yeah.
so um, there are certain things that I just don't allow. You know, um, we're not a perfect choir by no means, but I believe in having a standard.
Well, let me just say this, everybody. He may not call his choir perfect choir, but when you hear them live, I tell you, them notes are on point. I had a chance to see you recently. What was it, a choir fest or something back? Was it last year?
That was our reunion.
Oh, that's right.
That became
Yeah,
our 30th reunion. Yes.
yeah, yeah. Man, thoroughly enjoyed myself, David, because you commanded the stage again, of course. The choir sounded excellent. And it takes discipline for all of that. And that's why I brought you on, because I want people to realize, even being in the business that you're in for so long, now your 31st year, getting ready to record again. What year does this make for you recording? Is this your first live recording?
No, this is actually our fourth. Um, I don't know if I think you were here in '97.
Okay.
We did our very first live recording at Mr. Clean's church. Uh,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I was actually looking at the video, um, and it was May 26, 1997.
Okay.
And
Wow.
yes, and
And
here
then,
we are 27 years later, about to record again, Memorial Day weekend.
how about that?
We
How about
yes,
that?
we actually recorded on Memorial Day that year. And so here we are 27 years later, about to record again.
So tell us about this live recording, man, because people sometimes don't understand the process that you go through for these live recordings. Of course, there's a charge. Let's just make sure that's cleared out. Because this stuff is expensive, man. Live
Oh yeah.
recordings, they're very expensive. So talk about the ins and outs of a live recording session for David Walker in High Praise.
Yes. So we are recording May 25th. Um, like we're less than 2 weeks away. And the good thing about it, it's Memorial Day weekend, and it's going to be done at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So people are able to, come attend and still have uh, the remainder of their day to do whatever they want to do. I have some friends coming in from out of town, so they're able to get back. Um, they have obligations at their church. So, but yeah, May 25th, 1 p.m. at the Living Faith Tabernacle. That's 5880 Old Dixie Highway in Forest Park, Georgia. We have some amazing, amazing, amazing features for that afternoon. Bishop Wendell Stokes, um, Pastor Wendy Henderson Wyatt, um, Pastor Sam Franklin, Tyree Miller, um, Evangelist Leanne Fain. I call her Mama Leanne.
Yeah.
Melody Lovely, and Miss Adlib Queen herself, Evangelist Lillian Lloyd,
Yeah.
will be a part. And I can't leave out some of the home team features from the choir, Brother Jared voice, Chandra Gooden, Ashton Jackson, and Nicole Ely. They're also be singing, and so it's going to be nice. You definitely don't want to miss it. So
Yeah, man, this sounds really fun, man, because when I saw you started promoting it, I was like, oh, he's getting ready to record again. That's what's up.
yeah, it's been a while since we've done a live recording. Our last project was God's Got It, but it was a studio project. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Now, there are so many people that you've worked with in the past. And I'm going to make mention of some of them here. The award-winning choir has, of course, had the opportunity, everybody, to share their ministry with Dr. Bobby Jones in Nashville, Tennessee, during his annual Gospel Explosion. David Walker in High Praise has been nominated and won many awards on various platforms. They have also ministered with various artists such as Albertina Walker, Dorothy Norwood, Leanne Fain, as he mentioned earlier, Kim Burrell, Dorinda Clark Cole, Karen Clark Sheard, Ricky Dillard and New G, Hezekiah Walker and Love Fellowship Crusade Choir, James Hall in Worship and Praise, Beverly Crawford, Brian Courtney Wilson, Anita Wilson, and of course, Richard Smallwood. Man, that's a good list, Rick. That's a good list, David. That's a good list to be on, brother, for them folks to be calling you. So how did that happen? Do they call you, man, and say, look, I need a choir? And they say, okay, call David. Is that what happens?
So we have been afforded. There's an organization that we've been working with for the past, I think it's 9 years. The Pink Frog organization, um, and so we have been a part of that. They do a gala every year, and so they have a headliner each year. And so we've been afforded the opportunity to be that backup choir. And one of my favorites was Richard Smallwood, you
Yeah.
know, to provide his background and for him to come to rehearsal and uh, give me the nod because he was like, who taught these songs? And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, he was like, okay, good job. So I was like, wow, so um, to back up Richard Smallwood, Moret Brown Clark. Um, Last year was um, Yolanda Adams. The year before that was Karen Clark Sheard,
Mm,
Anita Wilson, uh, Kurt Carr, Beverly Crawford. So it's again a humbling um, thing for people to have that type of confidence
yeah.
in you to be able to get the job done. So I'm grateful. I don't take it for granted. Uh, you know, Stay rooted and grounded because I know that just as easy as it comes, it can go just as quick.
Man, I tell you, man, Atlanta has some great talent. When I moved here back in '84, and I started hearing choirs like yourself and Dirk Cheney, and oh my God, what was Maurice choir called?
Showers of
Was it
blessings.
Hours of Blessings? Oh my
Mhm.
God, I was like,
Yes,
where is this coming from?
yes,
I was so glad, first of all, to be a part. There were some cases where I probably hosted a couple of them, and I just enjoyed being in the presence of great talent. You mentioned I mentioned LaShawn Pace. What was it like working with a LaShawn Pace?
again, being able to work with some of these big names that I saw growing up,
Yeah.
just never thought that, I would be that close, so it was definitely a humbling experience, you know, to be a part of that.
Well, everybody, as I said before, he's embarking upon his fourth live recording. As you see there, there's the flyer. It's Saturday, May 25th at 1 o'clock at Living Faith Tabernacle. They're in Forest Park, and their tickets. You can get the tickets on Eventbrite. Is that how they go about getting the tickets?
Yes, sir.
So you're going on, log on ticket Eventbrite, get your tickets. Don't wait till the last minute. It's Memorial Day weekend. A lot of families in town. Do you expect some friends and family coming in for this as well?
Yes. People, some of my friends from out of town have already said that they were coming in. Some have already purchased their tickets. So, um, yes, don't wait till the last minute. Get your tickets now. Help me stress less,
I
please. Get
know
your
that's
tickets now.
yeah. This is gonna be a great event, man. I tell you, you've got some great powerhouse singers, musicians. I'm sure they're on point as well.
Yeah.
It takes a great body of minstrels
Yes.
to put something together like this, man. And so it's not an easy task, everybody, but it's a task that David is well equipped to do because I've seen him on different levels, and as he said, formerly the minister of music of Georgia Mass. This brother has shown that he's very capable of leading a flock of folk. He probably have his moments, I'm sure, but he's very capable of putting them in check and saying, "Look, this is what we're gonna do."
Right.
Uh, very organized, very professional, um, um, uh, family man, and does a great job, man. And so keep up the good work, David, because this is something that I'm very proud of you of, man. Because this has become something of a landmark for you, man. Hey, man, this is incredible, bro. So I said,
Yeah.
keep up the work, keep doing what you do. I just wanted to talk to you today. I didn't want to play your music. I just want to talk to you. Listen, they already know he can sing. They know the choir can sing. I probably just go out there and look up Google David Walker High Praise. You want to well what they sound like? Go to Google. I'll go to YouTube and look up David Walker and High Praise. You'll see what they sound like. All right. And then I'm serious, Doc. And then come to the concert.
Yes.
May 25th. Come on down to the concert. Get your tickets early too. All right. Big folk. They got some special guests up in there. Oh my God. You got some people, man. You got
Yes.
some great talent. And this is gonna be good stuff. So hats off to you, man. Congratulations to you. What do you see? What do you see for the future, man? For David Walker High Praise.
Man, our goal is just to effectively minister to the masses. Whatever comes along in addition to that, we'll take. But we just want to be effective in what we do. Um, you know, um, if nothing else, we want to be anointed. You know, and pleasing in God's sight. I know it sounds a little churchy or whatever, but it's true. That we want to be effective
Yeah.
in what we do. So
I
I
recently.
believe
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
things will God will open doors because of our faithfulness.
Yeah.
And going about doing things the right way.
I recently saw in a movie on Netflix called A Man in Full. It was a choir of Atlanta performing in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been called to do movie premieres?
Yes, if you look real close in the movie A Question of Faith,
Mm.
you'll see a little bald-headed chocolate guy directing the choir.
Oh, what's the name of the movie again?
A Question of Faith.
A Question of Faith. Is that on Netflix?
It was. I'm not sure if it's still on there.
I'll find it. I'll find
Yeah,
it.
Question of Faith.
Wow. See what I'm saying? I didn't even know that, y'all. See what I'm saying? I didn't even know that. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Keep up the work, David. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Yes, sir. And of course, everybody, thank you for joining us on Real Talk with Rodale. My special guest this evening, David Walker of David Walker and High Praise. He's the premier director of the choir High Praise. And I tell you, they've got a wonderful event coming up Memorial Day weekend, May 25th, here in Atlanta, in Forest Park area, which is just on the outside of Atlanta. But you want to be there because you're gonna really hear some quality singing. I mean, quality. And that's what's important, is to hear some great singers come forth, and then you've got wonderful guests going to be a part of this as well. Are you leading any songs, David?
No, sir. I don't know, Rodell. I may hum a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit.
You know, sometimes the director would take the mic and the spirit be so high, and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden,
I may do a little bit. I ain't gonna make no promises, but listen. I just started turning around talking to the people. Now you want to push me too fast. You want me to sing to the people too.
David is very mild mannered. Everybody, he really is very mild mannered, and so. And for the longest, you're right. He would stand with his back to the audience and would not. Now he's able to turn around, smile at the people, say a few words, and go back. You remind me of what's the guy named Simmons. Good night, God bless you.
Okay.
Come on,
Yeah.
God bless you. But yeah, man, congratulations again, and I look forward to be there, man, because I love good singing, and I love good choir music. I feature choir music here on the network on Friday nights, and I've been playing your latest single. I'm thinking it's the latest called "Thank You."
Yes.
I've been playing that a lot. I like that
Yes.
record. I
Yes.
love that record. So
Yeah.
people going out and get the latest project. What's the name of the latest project, by the way?
Well, the latest single is "Thank You," and that'll be actually featured on this record. Also, actually, Sam Franklin will be leading it live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that one, but they can also get God's Got It. Um, that's a full project. Also, You Can't Make Me Doubt 'Em is another single that we did.
Oh,
That was during the pandemic, actually. And
okay.
also, our first project, which is entitled So Long, um, they can get that one too.
Okay. Very good. My man, David Walker of David Walker and High Praise. Man, go do your thing, man, because I know you will. I ain't worried about that. I know it's gonna come
Pray for
come
us, God. Pray
and
for us.
we'll be doing that for sure. Have a
Yeah,
great evening. Thank you for
you
checking
do,
in.
you do the same. And thank you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for joining us on a Taste of Tradition podcast right here on a Taste of Tradition.